So number 4 is this chicken. Number 5, Jester. 6, this one. Good day, my fellow hackers. Today I'm going to be using Cheat Engine on Spell Brigade Early Access, or otherwise known as Demo. So this is a Spell Brigade demo. I have a bought one because we liked the demo and you know. So, but I'm going to be showing you how to use Cheat Engine on the demo. And now you would ask, why would you use it on demo, not the original? Well, because I always noticed demos usually are full games-ish, just, you know, not completed, or maybe, you know, have some content that is just cut. Just because it did not fit or did not want to show people more than, you know, what the paid version should have, you know, what the full version as per se. So this game is no different. So I have everything unlocked in here, you know, all the quests, demo and stuff. It merges with my bot version, so I have, you know, a few things. So anyways, we're just gonna need a few heroes, a few wizards, and today I'm gonna be showing you how to catch and get all of the wizards, even though they're locked, and you know, locked in this demo. So you would say that maybe they do not exist, but using Cheat Engine you can access them, and I'm gonna show you. So I'm going to turn on the Cheat Engine, connect this to Spell Brigade. Okay, so let's start from this one. Now usually the first one is like the starting point. So the first character would be, I don't know, a 0, maybe a 1, but we just know that it should be the first point. I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna go off as if I don't know what kind of number he represents. You know, which one in line is he? So I'm gonna go with unknown initial value. First scan, and now let's change characters, and now it should be changed. Now yes, this is a 4 bytes simple number. It should be very simple. Now it is not changed. After a change, there's a bunch of changing values, and our character is not changing, so it's unchanged. Still unchanged. Okay, let's maybe change it. Now it would be changed. Good. We need to decrease the found amount as much as we can. So okay, now it is unchanged. Let's turn on the repeat, and let's maybe go into our outfits, lore, go around here. Oh no. Let's go around here. And yeah, to catch these, I mean, I could try, but I could use, you know, paid version to catch these, but you know, that kind of beats the purpose. But you know, I'm gonna show you the easy one. So I'm gonna go and switch it to the first one. Now it should be changed, but it should be if I were to press this compared to the first scan, or press this one which shows the first scan, I can press this and this activates. And now if I were to scan with unchanged, because it should be the same as the first scan, because first time we scanned it was the first character, so unchanged. Okay, now let's turn this off, so you would not get confused when your scans get wrong. Look at this one, changed. And yeah, now there's a lot of values. Now, usually catching characters, like for example, there are 12 here, and in the base game there is 14, maybe 15. it says that it's 15, I got only 14, but you know. So yeah, there's 12 characters. So I do not think that one of the characters' value would be this big. Of course it could be, you know. But I believe, and it's a high possibility, that these characters use just simply, you know. For example, let's go. This one is a 0, this one is a 1, this one is a 2, this one is a 3, this one is a 4. I started counting from a 0 because that's where the code starts to count. You count from the 0, not from 1. There's a 0, don't forget the 0. You start from the 0. So yeah, the 0 point could be this one. So if we assume that, we can select simply smaller than 100, for example, and scan. Now we have a bunch of values that are quite small. So now, not text, no. Let's change our characters. Still smaller than 100. This one, still smaller. This one, still smaller. Okay. Okay, now if I were to scan, we've changed. Wait, should it be? Yes, it should, yes. Because I scanned the last time with this one, so now it should be changed. If you forget a value, like what you scanned, just simply press ignore values, and then just ignores everything. And then you can, you know, this is like the base point, the last base point where you scanned. It just simply whitens all the values, and you can, you know, go off. Okay, now it should be changed. This one now should be changed. What if I go like this? It should be unchanged. Yes. So values are still going off. Now, what other base logic we could use? We can of course go and try and brute force this, you know. We could try this. We could maybe try, you know, going like smaller than 10. Because, okay, for example, there are only 12 characters. So it should go only up to 11 or 12. Depending where it starts to count from. So I can maybe go like smaller than 13. Okay, now I can check with all of these, and if they exceed the threshold, they're off. Okay. Okay, this is nice. Okay. What other logic? So, for example, if this is the base point, let's scan with, you know, changed. If this is the base point, so if this is the base point, I could of course try and brute force it, you know, as I'm saying, I could try. You can simply select all and try and brute force. You can maybe go, for example, okay, now I'm this character, so it should be maybe increased value. Don't know by how much. They could be out of order, but it could be increased, you know. It would decrease my found amounts to like 16, which is nice, but you know, it's risky. It's one of the risky ones, so you gotta remember what you're scanning with. This one could be increased, but I see some values decreasing, so, you know, maybe just using the base point as the base, as now it should be decreased because we're back at the base, if it's the base, you know. So, I mean, you can start in brute force, like even sooner than this. So you can select one, Control A to select all of them, press this arrow to put them all down, and now down here we can start working. For example, press value, and it will sort all the values by the values. For example, you know, all the 0s, 2s, 3s, and the 4s, it's sorted. And now, for example, I can just simply look. So, for example, if I think that this is the base point, it should be like a 0. because you know 0 is 1 in code. So this one would be, okay, some change to 2, others change to 9, and there's nothing lower. This one now changes to 1. This one changes to 3. This one changes to 3. Now this, if I'm assuming that this is it and not this. This is just, you know. What I simply could do is simply take, for example, a section, for example, a 0. If I assume that one of the zeros is the correct value, I'm gonna select top, control, no, not control, just shift press, another one to select everything in between, space to lock. Now they're locked, they should not be able to change. And now if I were to go change to the sun, it changed, yes. This game does not update as fast as others. And now if I were to go like enchantments and back, look at this, it switched back into what was the 0. The base unit, the 0 unit. So I could assume that one of these maybe is a visual, or maybe is the actual value. Maybe it's only the visually. But if it were visually, why did it change in the first place? If it visually still was this, So I could assume that it's one of those. And I'm gonna tell you, yes, it's one of those. So I'm gonna delete all of these. And now I'm gonna deselect all of them. And now let's see. So, I mean, this one is 9. I mean, if I were to lock it at 9, go here and try this, it does not change. So I can delete this. And now it's one of these 3. If I'm correct that this is the character and not some sort of visual, visual mesh. So I could maybe, okay, this one will be 0, this one will be 1, this one's 3, and this one's 2. Let's make it all different. Now let's go into, I don't know, outfits, details. So it's number 3. It was this one, I believe. Yes, let's change it to 4. Let's see. Yes. And yes, okay, it's this one. So first of all, let me delete the other ones. It looks like this one. Every other value changes to this one. Even if this were the visual, if other values are changing to it, and this could be like the values that all of these characters go by. Even if this is just a visual, it's still good to know how these values move around. So for example, this one's a 0, this one's a 2, this one's a 1, this one's a 3. So number 4 is this chicken. Number 5, Jester. 6, this one. 7, the sniper. Okay, for example, a jester. Now, does it work? I can try. Ready? And let's see. Will I start with a jester? Yes, I do. And I can upgrade and increase my level. So it seems to be working. Good. Now I could try, maybe I'm gonna show you something, because I have already tested this. So yes, some work, but for example, a sniper, this king, does not work. Like, there is a character, I can see it. It has the sprite, it has its ability, but once I level up, nothing happens. Now in this game, usually when you level up, a screen appears and you can choose, you know, what you upgrade next. For King, this does not appear to happen. And there are a few others like a laser, which does not work to you. So yeah, it's sort of unfinished. The King probably has it off, turned off maybe. Maybe, perhaps. There are other demos that, you know, you can test this on. There are a bunch of demos, you know. Like, pick any and see what you can do. Because it's, I don't know, it's quite fun for me to unlock all of these turned off features. And of course even the base games have such features, like Streets of Rogue for the longest time had and still has its own sprites for like voodoo dolls, even though you don't use them and stuff. So yeah. But this game likes to break the characters, so what I would suggest to do is to right click, find out rights to this address, yes. Now let me change a character. I got the instruction that, oh, I probably should tell you what I'm doing. So this value, I unlocked it, right clicked and press find our rights to this address or F6. With this, I'm gonna find, and I found an instruction that changes this value, because something is changing it without my input. This just shows what it is. So it is some sort of thing, some sort of code, and there's different types of changes. Now, for example, if I were to leave and return, I believe the value would get lost. So there are two codes. I could add both of them to the code list, because I know that this game loves to break characters and, for example, nullify them. I believe it happens whenever you like maybe leave with a character that is not unlocked, and the game just decides to not give you any characters, and it just breaks the menu input and stuff. So you would need to go into app data and just delete the save, or just back up your save. You know, for this game, just find your save file. You can Google it, find the save file, and always back up it. And for this game specifically, because oh boy, luckily I had someone else that plays with me and they gave me their save, so yeah. And what I can do is just simply add to the code list by selecting the address, okay, and they appear into advanced options. And with this code list I can right click and find out what writes to this address, find out what address this code writes to actually. And now with this board appears, and now if I were to select a few characters, it shows what this address is now going to write to, and it writes to values that are completely the same. And this is how you locate, because these values, these numbers, were gonna be lost when you turn off and on the game, you know, when you restart the game. They're gonna be lost, but you can always save this and go into advanced options and do this. And or you can do in this game, right click and generate pointer map, and then pointer scan for this address to create a pointer map. Because by creating a pointer map and catching the correct pointers, you can simply, even if in this game your characters break, or they break in the full version, even you can go into demo, back into demo, and just change the characters back into working ones. Okay, I mean, I can quickly show you. So we need the value that changes our character. Now let's name this into number 1 so we would not get confused. Now let's right click and press generate pointer map. Now this is gonna show you your location and stuff, you know. This is my desktop. I'm gonna create a new folder named trash, After that, just delete it because it's gonna be filled with trash. So I'm gonna name this a number 1. Save. It's gonna generate a bunch of pointers that might lead to the origin. Now it's saving. It's saved. There we go. In this trash, we got our pointers. Now, what I can simply do is simply... I don't need this. I can simply close the game, turn it on. Now let me connect this back to the game. Yes, keep. Now, as you can see, this value is forgotten. It's a question mark. It's a bunch of question marks because it is forgotten. Good, it did not break. Okay, go into advanced options. This is our instructions that we have saved. I believe I saved 2 of the same. Did I accidentally save 2 of the same? No, okay, they're different. I can keep this like this. Okay. Okay, so one of them, just right click, find out what addresses this code writes to. Yes. Now, this does not always work, but when it does, it's very nice. Now, sometimes, you know, you can go by the old instructions and just try to locate the same thing, which luckily in this game you can do. This does not work in all of the games, sadly. Terraria is one of them that does not work. With the most useful, it does not work. Okay, so I got this. This is a new value. This time it's a different address, but this value serves the same purpose. It's for the units. Now, okay, I named it into number 2. Right click, generate pointer map. In the same trash file, this time number 2, save. And just leave it to work. Now you could go off only 1 scan. Nobody tells you to do 2 scans, you know, but 2 scans are always better. At least 2, I mean, always is better. The more you have, the more exact the location, but if you wanna go so far to find the exact location, there's a different method, which takes a lot longer. But yeah, I always just make scripts. I learned to make scripts, advanced scripts, that I like scripts. Not Lua. No, not Lua. We have cheat engine. I don't need Lua. Oh, come on. I use Lua as little as possible. Okay, so we got a second thing. Now, the one that still has the value, which is the second one, which is usually the last one you scan with, then, you know, let's right click, pointer scan for this address. Now, in here, use saved pointer map. It's number 2, because, you know, it's asking about this one, and compare it with the results of number 1, which address is this, and when we name it, the name is this. And it inputted it automatically because it was the only one in the list. So, you know. Good and okay. Now in the same trash, just name it whatever. Save. It's gonna compare. So you can leave it to work a bit. It won't take that long. It takes maybe, I don't know, it would have finished by now. Probably because I'm recording, it's taking a bit longer. This is taking a while. I'm just gonna stop. I wish to resume the current progress scan at a later time. No. So, anyways, I'm gonna sort by offset 6, and it sorts nicely. Now I can just maybe go into this one, mage, but this is gonna look stupid because you would say, oh, this is 1, so this is the wrong one. But if I scroll up, scroll down, it's updated. So, you know, you can't really test it like this. Anyways, now this is the part where you randomly click this, scroll a bit down, click this. Only click those with the value. Those without value are the wrong one. I know we did not... What? They disappear as I click. Now I know I did not allow it to scan to the fullest, but I do not believe I'm gonna need the full scan to find like at least a few working ones. And these values, these pointers that I found, not these changing ones you can delete later, but those that, some of them will stay after I relaunch the game. This is why we pointer scan. To find the core value, and then, you know, of course a bit more complicated than that, but it's to find the core value, and if the core value stays, it's good. It's good because we don't need to catch it again and again. Because if the game, it breaks in the game, you cannot catch it without resetting the save. Okay, so I can select this. Let's select all of them. Put them into, create a header. Okay. No, don't support. What? Why? Oh, I just made separate one. Okay, select all of them. Grab the marked one. So you would grab all of them and now just drag it to the group. Hide children when deactivated. Okay. Now we can start sorting. I mean, the easiest way to sort is to turn off the game. Go back into this. Okay, let's go into the game. Let's select this. Let's see. Okay, it's number 1. Can I sort by value in groups? No. Okay, so these two are lost. I'm not gonna do another pointer scan. I'm gonna delete them. These question marks don't hold the value. So I'm just gonna select delete. Who else? You don't seem to be correct. You're not correct. Select delete. Okay. Let's see if I were to change into this one. They change nicely. If I were to change them into a 9, for example, they change into a 9. And yes, I have the skin on the laser. 11, I believe, is the last one. Yes, the Lego man. And if you go beyond, it usually goes back into the default, which is the defaulter. You could actually, anyways, you could break this, and it would be, you know, it would break. And then you would not be able to open any tabs, this would not appear. It would be no character, and you would need to use, for example, this to fix it. You can use Cheat Engine to fix things, which is real good, real good. It's not for cheating, as the name suggests. And yeah, and you can save this simply in a save file. No, save this. Yes, I would like to save this. That was a bit of spoiler from the other. Okay, and I save this, open it, connect this. If any of these break, delete them again. If all of them break, find new ones. This is how we do. This is how we do it. So yeah, you can of course rename this unit or whatever. So yeah. You know what? You know what? I don't know how long will these hold, but on the house. On the house. Yes, replace with the new one. I'm gonna upload this in the description on the house. So yeah, this was Spell Brigade demo. That is all. Thanks for watching.